All right, this is like take four. Take four. Uh, Hello, my name is Ellie, and I am here to share some things about my thoughts on life, my thoughts on drama, grief, girl talk, boy talk, all of the above. Anyways, um, if you look through my page, as you can see, I started out doing a lot of videos on glasses and skin problems. So if you have those, please check out my other videos. But this is actually my first video where I am. Wow, my heater's interrupting me. Sorry about that. This is gonna be my first video where I am talking about nothing in particular. So, I mean, my title will probably say what I am going to be talking about, but I don't know, I just kind of want to branch out, kind of want to do a video about things that are more flexible and not just stuck on one thing, you know what I mean? Like, I already know that there's gonna be comments that are like, where's your glasses? I'm like, well, I wear contacts too, so there's many sides of me that you haven't seen yet. And let's not make that weird, okay? Anyways, so I fixed myself some green tea, some roasted green tea, and I have got my little candle here to set the mood, you know what I'm saying? And okay, I do have one thing on my mind though, and it's probably on a lot of y'all's minds too, and that is grief. Grief. Good grief, bad grief. So it is December, and it is just that time of year between Christmas and New Year's, and just thinking about, you know, all that I've lost, things like that. And, you know, I don't want this to get too dark and depressing, because it can go there, but I'm not gonna take it there. Little backside story is that 4 years ago, my birth mom passed away, and she struggled her whole life with addictions. So I have what you would say is complicated grief, because when she died, it wasn't like, oh, she was in a good place and she went to an even better place. It was kind of like, yo, my mom ghosted me for most of my life, and then she had the nerve to die, you know, kind of like that. But anyways, I think it's really crazy that I can talk about that without bawling my eyes out, because I would say the following years after my mom passed, it was really hard for me, and November and December were the most depressing time of the year. And I honestly didn't think that it would get better, but this year was different. Like, it was November and then December, and you know, I was reminded of my mom, but it wasn't like, it didn't feel like the end of the world, you know, and I didn't feel like I was gonna having like a severe depressive episode, you know, because, you know, any of you guys who have dealt with loss know how awful it is. It's just terrible. It's awful to lose somebody that you love, you know. But then Christmas happened, and then it hit me. I was just crying, and I was like, I don't know why. Well, I know why I'm crying, but that's the thing with grief, is sometimes it feels like when your mind and your body, they're not like really syncing up, it's like your body will just take over and like have an emotional breakdown without even asking your brain if it could do it, you know what I mean? So yeah, Christmas was really emotional for me, because I didn't even have to really think about it. I just knew. I was just like, it's just really sad that, you know, she's not here, you know. And also my grandma passed away too, so that added on to that. So it was just kind of like just some real heavy stuff, y'all. Some real heavy stuff. But I got some tips with how I have dealt with grief, or what has helped me, as in Allie. And I realized that generally I'm kind of a person that's just kind of like go, 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 you know, like don't really think about it, just work, 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 always doing something, you know. But when you're grieving, it's really important that you rest and that you give yourself permission to rest. If you need to keep your hands busy, let it be something meditative, you know, like knitting, you know. I remember one of the ladies from the church that I was going at the time, she gave me, I put some things to the side to show a demo. This wasn't planned, you know, this wasn't planned at all. But she gave me this, not the scarf, I'm knitting the scarf, but I never thought that I would get into knitting, ever. But the sweet lady gave it to me and was like, you know, when I was going through a hard time, when I lost my husband, because she had lost her husband, she said that knitting was something that she found very calming and healing, and like something that also you feel like you're doing at the same time. Like you're still doing something, you're still making something, but also it's something that you can kind of rest while doing it. Like you could watch a movie or listen to podcasts or music or audiobook. And so this is a scarf that I have been making for the past 3 years. And I started doing it because it's usually that time of year when I'm like, I'll be like, damn, I feel sad. All right, I'm gonna knit. I'm gonna do some knitting, you know, stuff like that. So this is something I would really recommend getting into. Like you could go find like a super cool knitting club or something, and you know, it's okay to be sad, but keep your hands busy, you know. Another thing that I always splurge in is like a good Netflix binge, especially some K-drama, you know. I've read different types of things. I've read so many books on grief about like how to deal with, like, what will make you feel better? What will make you feel better? Because the thing with grief is that it just hurts so bad when you're feeling it, that just anything that'll make you feel better. And generally you want to stay away from like smoking weed or drinking alcohol, like, you know, like suppressants and stuff. Like generally you still want to like feel what you're feeling, if that makes sense. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a professional. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. But dang, I forgot. I totally rabbit trailed. I don't even remember what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, binge watching. That's a really nice thing to do. If you find a really good show, just binge watch that. And it's okay. It's okay. It's that hard time of year for you. Do you, boo? Another thing is video games. I love me some video games. You know, play some Mario. Kind of remind you of your childhood times and when everything was, well, I don't know, everybody has a different kind of childhood, but light a candle, burn some sage, get your meditation in, you know, go for a hike, read a book, read a good book, you know what I mean? You can journal, you can sketch, you know, write your dreams out, sketch your inner world, you know what I mean? But okay, I guess that's enough on grief. I guess that's kind of what I was gonna talk about today. But generally, it's just awful. It's just so terrible. Like, I mean, it's awesome that I have to remind myself, it's awesome that I love somebody so much. But it means that it just really sucks when they're gone, you know what I mean? But okay, that's enough of that. But low-key, I've always kind of like wanted to do a vlog on YouTube, but like it's hard to like do YouTube, like to do a video with not really talking about anything in particular, but also at the same time I feel like I'm really good at just talking and rabbit trailing, and I don't even need anybody to talk back to me. I'll just keep talking. It's kind of like I'm having a conversation with myself. So in a way, I feel like YouTube videos are very healing as well. Literally, I'll get lost on YouTube at midnight and I'll be watching these videos of these people like doing like food blogs or smoking a joint blog or doing a murder mystery while doing my makeup blog, and I love it. I love getting to know people. I love to know what floats your boat, you know? Like let's hang. You guys are like my internet webs, you know what I'm saying? I swear I have real friends. I mean, not really, but kind of. Do any of y'all ever feel like that? Like where you're like, yesterday I had like a whole lot of friends, and then the pandemic happened, and then it was like I lost all my friends. But the thought of gaining friends again, like physical friends, is kind of like, sounds exhausting. Like who was an extrovert before the pandemic, but then became an introvert after the pandemic? I'm right there with you. But yeah. Okay. So if you made it this far with me in this video, I want you to write down below in the comments, what is your New Year's resolution? Because you know it's about to be 2022. Like what is that one thing that you want to do next year? What is that one thing that you were going to get done? For me, I opened up an Etsy shop where I make flower resin jewelry, and I'm like really surprised. It actually kind of took off, and I didn't really expect it to. So I think it's kind of fun to realize that, you know, if you experiment with new things and you give it a try, like don't be scared to do it. And if it's not a success, that's okay, because that could be something that will lead on to your next thing that could become something. Does that make sense? That probably doesn't make sense, but with my story, that's how it went. Because originally, like, I'm an artist, and I love to do art, and I think I tried to sell my art before. I sold a couple of pieces, but like it just never really kind of stuck, and it wasn't really something that I felt motivated to do. Like I didn't feel motivated to go make prints of my art and then sell them, or to make original art and then sell it. I just like making art, and I like for people to look at it and then just like go on their merry way. That's the kind of artist I am. But then when I started doing like collecting flowers and pressing them and preserving them in resin and selling them, that was something that kind of like stuck. So I think that's like the biggest thing I realized is like when it comes with like doing your own thing, like whatever sticks, whatever feels right, just, and it's like good for you, like go for it. 100%. So I think for me, for the year 2022, I want to like get more into like reading about nature and plants and how to properly preserve them and how to do it in a way that is not bad for your planet, you know what I mean? And I just want to get more absorbed in the natural world around me. I think that's kind of my goal for next year. I want to read more books about it. I want to go on more trails, more hikes, and I want to make pieces of jewelry that are more special and genuine and like what's the word? I'm like trying to think of all these words, but I can't think of it. But impactful. Anyways, all right guys, that's enough of my little night talk. Anyways, I don't know if this could be something, but if y'all want to have like, I don't even know what I'm gonna call this series, table talk, nighttime sesh, alley talk, I don't know, it could be about anything. If you put in the comments something that you kind of think that would be fun to talk about and I'm like cool with it, hey, you don't know, the next one, number 2, but this is number 1. This is number one. All right. Happy New Year. Y'all stay safe, and just know if you are grieving, you're not alone. It gets better, and just prioritize taking care of yourself. It's okay. It's okay to rest, and it's okay to grieve. All right, good night, fam.